everyone, welcome to another process video. I'm Jenny and I am working with this beautiful crate paper collection called Craft Market, and all I've done is I've cut out this end symbol and I have cut it out of one of the 12 by 12 sheets of paper, and I have a little acrylic block there that I have scribbled on a distress marker, and I'm just using a little water brush to pick up some of the colour. And all I'm doing is colouring this little ampersand in, and I'm wanting it to have a little bit of a watercolour look, so I'm trying to keep some areas light and some areas a little bit dark, so it's a little bit of random patterning. And I'm going to use that as part of my layout today, and also building up some clusters with the die cut pieces from the die cut box pack. So everything that I'm using today is from crate paper, apart from a couple of little sheets of paper that I also use for layering. So this one came together pretty quickly, as you can see. And I'm trying to use some of these chipboard sticker pieces, and underneath the ampersand you will see that jar that I wasn't sure how I would use that in any other way, so I've pretty much used it up, so it wasn't the last piece left, but I'm going to tuck it underneath and use it as a little bit of a layering piece rather than a main focus piece. So I end up cutting off the little critter on the top of the jar and putting that elsewhere, and I think I actually put it on top of the camera, and then there I go. So off screen a little bit, but I just cut that off and then use that little jar just as a bit of a layering and bit of a textured piece underneath. Let's pop it up a little bit higher, because like I said, I don't know how I would use that jar otherwise. So I've got these letter stickers, and I think they were from a Mambi pack that I had years and years ago. So I know that the thickers in this collection were different coloured thickers, so this is my way of being able to use stuff from my stash but have a very similar look. And so I've done that, and I've called it You and Me. So I've layered down a little mat that goes right across in the lower third of the page, and I'm happy with that design that I'm going for, so I'm committing to sticking everything down. So that's what I'm doing now. So pretty boring, but you will see lots of little bits of layering pieces underneath, lots of little bits of pieces of paper that I have cut sections from so that I don't waste anything. And this photo is an older photo of me and my son, and my poor hubby got cropped out of it, but I think it could be like about a year old or something, so there's no special story behind the photo apart from the fact that we just quickly grabbed the phone and got a selfie together. So printed that out, and that's what I'm working with today. And like I said in one of my previous layouts, some of these pieces in the die cut packs don't make any sense at all to my layout, but I don't mind. They're in the pack, they're cute, and I'm going to use them. So a pair of scissors has nothing to do with this layout, neither does that jar that I cut the top off, but I don't know where I would use them otherwise, so I'm just making them work for me. So just playing around with the ampersand, and I want something to go underneath it because there was a little bit of a gap, and you could see the paper, but I didn't want that, so I've just tucked a little die cut underneath, and I will end up propping the ampersand up on some foam tape to give that a little bit of height and dimension as well, and I might have already put that on there. And I've got a little bit too much of the jar showing at the moment, and all I'm trying to do is add a few more layers behind that, but I'm just trying to work out what, and I quite liked that, but considering that there was only half a tag actually poking out, I just do what I normally do and cut it in half, and that way I can use the other half for some layering in another spot. And just grab those little tickets. So I think I'm up to about layout 6 or 7 maybe on this with this crepe paper collection, and I still have some of the die cut pieces left. I'm getting to the lower end of the pack now, so I'm really happy with being able to use the majority of them up before I've had enough of the collection and ready to pack it away. So that is always good. But the crepe paper collections are always great, that they tend to go with each other from collection to collection anyway, so which is always a good thing. So just having a look, there's that little squirrel or something that I decided to put on top of the camera there and use that up. And I've decided that I want to make a little cluster point up on top of the page because it's looking a little bit blank up the top. So I've got lots of interest happening to the lower half of the layout, so just wanting to put a little bit of interest at the top as well. So just grab that little banner that says love, and there's a paintbrush. So once again, random little piece of ephemera, but it's okay, they all look good together. I really love the way this page turned out. It's one of my favorites. And here I go, I just showed you there that I have added some distress marker to an acrylic block, and I'm just painting some blue onto this page. So I used Peacock Feathers, which is a aqua color, which is a nice, it actually looks more like a blue on this page than it does the greeny blue, but it looks really good. And so I'm just being careful here to well, I should say I'm not being careful, and I'm not minding whether I go out of the line. So I am actually just looking for a sort of a rough painted look, and not worrying, not wanting it to be perfect at all. So just adding a little bit more color to the page, which helps to fill up the top half of the page without adding any more bulk or dimension or taking away from the photo clustered area. So I was really happy with the way that turned out, and it was good to be able to incorporate some items that I haven't used in a long time, or that I don't tend to use on scrapbooking. And it's easy to use, didn't have to pull out watercolors or anything like that, so it doesn't make a mess. So I just pull out another color now with the distress marker, and that is Wild Honey, and I'm just adding a little bit of shading to some of the areas, as you can see, around the tags and on the page, and that's a really beautiful color for just adding a little bit of, looks like a little bit of sepia color, and it's not bright and bold, but it just adds a little bit of cream sort of color to a page. And then I think I'm pretty much done. So this was another page that I end up putting a layout on the back, so I liked both sides of the paper. So I'm using up both sides, so I don't add any ink splatters to this one. My black ink splatters, I've just added a little bit of splatters, as you could see, with this scattered straw, and that is it. So here are my close-ups. I'll leave you with them. Thank you for joining me today. Please hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and I would love to hear your comments if you have any, and I will see you next time. Bye.